Ugandans are about to vote in an election in which one of the world's longest-serving presidents is seeking to extend his 35-year rule.
Uganda's president has seen 6 US counterparts come and go. It's 35 years since he took power. But now, Yoweri Museveni is facing his biggest challenge in decades. It comes in the form of a charismatic young opposition candidate with his sights on victory in Uganda's 2021 elections. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is a pop star turned politician. His fans know him by his stage name, Bobi Wine. He has risen to prominence amid an election campaign marred by a crackdown on the opposition and violence which has left dozens dead. The self-styled ghetto president wants to win Uganda's most turbulent election in decades.
Njagala mubeere ne president nga mukwano gwammwe nga kyali wammwe. Njagala mubeere ne president nga assaamu ekitiibwa bamaama ne bataata baffe. Njagala mubeere ne president nga amanyi ebizibu byammwe. Nze mmwe munkuziza nkulidde mu maaso gammwe nga mundaba.
But the leader, Bobi Wine, wants to unseat, still enjoys high levels of public support, despite his increasingly authoritarian approach. Yoweri Museveni took power as a young rebel leader in 1986. Since then, he has won 5 elections, but observers have cast doubt on whether they all have been free and fair. Museveni is campaigning as the stability candidate. As president, he helped to lift millions out of poverty and to limit the spread of HIV. He says he is the candidate who will keep Ugandans safe.
President Museveni akoze ebintu bingi, akoze enguudo, akoze amasomero, n'ekirwadde kino ekizze ekya COVID-19. Abantu balowooza nti ekirwadde tekiriiyo, naye ekirwadde gye kiri, akigezezzaako President Museveni okukiwonya. Ky'ova olaba twongedde okumujanjawaza, twongedde okumuwagaliza bannakampala, ate tukakasa President Museveni wano mu Kampala agenda kuwangula.
But opposition to Museveni is growing. Bobi Wine won the support of many young people with his pledges to tackle youth unemployment and corruption. The singer has been arrested multiple times, with authorities saying his campaign rallies violate COVID-19 restrictions. He says he's being intimidated. Even his home has been raided.
I don't know, maybe.
So I'm sorry, even right now as we speak, we are being raided by the military. I have to end the interview because I can see soldiers beating my security guard.
The arrests have enraged his supporters. After he was arrested in November, protests followed and 37 people died as police violently dispersed the crowds. The crackdown helped Bobi Wine to style himself as a radical challenger to an authoritarian leader, despite being thin on policy details and lacking in experience. But even if Wine doesn't win, his campaign will have severely weakened the incumbent. With dozens already dead, there are fears more instability and more violence could be on the way.
We are deeply concerned by the deteriorating human rights situation in Uganda ahead of the parliamentary and presidential elections that are scheduled for the 14th of January, and the challenges that this situation may pose not only for voting day itself, but for the post-electoral period.
The stakes could not be higher when Ugandans go to the polls. The country's neighbors will be watching the election closely, with Uganda's reputation as an island of stability in the region already hanging in the balance.
Now, people in the capital, Kampala, expressed fear ahead of the poll. Many have already left the capital, concerned that the violence could break out further.
I hope for the elections to end in peace, because this is our country and we're not going anywhere. Those who have money have left, but for us, the poor, we have remained in the city.
From the time I was born, these are the elections I've seen that has caused a lot of tension in the whole country. In that most people even are now running to the villages. They don't know the future.
We cannot hope for free and fair election.
I think the government should come out and explain to the people that, please, during and after election, there's going to be peace. At least people have peace of mind. Others, people are not eating, people are shifting, they're doing some other things.
And DW's Julius Mugambwa is in Kampala with more on the story. Good to see you, Julius. So we've just been listening to people saying that they're afraid of more violence as the vote draws closer. What is the mood in the country?
I think the people who are afraid of violence have many reasons to think like that and to have all that fear around them, because this is one of the most I should say, bloody campaigns that we've had, the most violent campaigns we've had. In November, you might recall, we lost almost more than 50 people due to violence. So imagine if that happened during campaigns, and now what will happen during the elections. So this is the mood that it's spreading across the country, with very many people fearing that in case there are riots, in case there are demonstrations, anything could go bad, and they have reasons now to think that tomorrow might bring anything.
Julius, let's have a listen to President Museveni, and I want to ask you something about what he's just going to say.
There have been practices of intimidation where especially the opposition people have been threatening people not to come out and vote. I held a meeting with the security forces. They are ready to defend you. Therefore, don't fear anything. Come out and vote. Nobody will intimidate you. Nobody will attack you. If anybody tries to do that, we shall get him or her.
A stern warning from President Museveni there, Julius, but is there more to be read into what he's saying?
I think there is more to be read into what he's saying, because why in the world would he mention fear? I think the head of the state is already recognizing the fact that there is fear. Coming out to say that the security will defend Ugandans to go and vote peacefully, it means he has already recognized the fact that there is fear. Now, what many Ugandans, how many people are interpreting this, is that tomorrow's election is very likely not to be like the usual elections that we've had in the last 4 rounds. So tomorrow is likely to be a very, very different election. And that stern warning that the president has put through is also going out to people perhaps who are intending to demonstrate, intending to protest or riot. He's telling them clearly that they will not be given a chance.
It's clear that the main challenger, Bobi Wine, is a threat to, or is seen as a threat to President Yoweri Museveni, just judging by how the authorities have suppressed his campaign, and even before the pandemic, really. But does he have a chance, Julius?
I think Bobi Wine has a chance, and so is President Yoweri Museveni. What Ugandans will decide tomorrow is highly anticipated. You cannot really tell who is going to win this election. Bobi Wine, yes, has a chance because he's been calling out young people to give him a chance to vote tomorrow. And if they really vote like he has been asking them to, like they've been promising him, then he has a chance. But also on the other side, very important to note that President Yoweri Museveni has also been busy campaigning, and his support for all these years cannot be taken for granted. So both candidates have a chance, I should say.
Do people in Uganda think that the election will be free and fair?
About being free and fair, yeah, there are some Ugandans who think that the election will be free and fair, but the opposition for a very long time, by the way, not just in this election, they've made it clear that they do not have confidence in the Uganda's Electoral Commission, and this is the body that is organizing the election tomorrow. But regardless of them saying that they do not have confidence in the Electoral Commission, they have called on their people not to sit back home, to go in big numbers and turn up to vote. So talking about free and fair also goes to where does someone fall when it comes to the political divide. Those supporting the government will tell you clearly that this is the election to go for, and those against the government will tell you that it is unlikely that the election will be free and fair.
All right, that's Julius Mugambwa reporting in Kampala for us. Thank you, Julius.